Hi YouTube, this is UAB Zeta. I'm coming to you today on a very, very hot Alabama day. It's so hot in my house. We have the air going and 2 fans and I'm still glistening, but go figure. Oh well, whatever. I'm coming today very excited about my sewing project. I received a tutorial from a young lady by the name of Rebbsew, who I subscribe to here on YouTube, and she posted yesterday about how to make a maxi dress. Now I've seen the tutorial several times, but well, not from her but from several people, and they're all pretty easy, but I'm going to take things a step further and make the maxi dress out of items that I have around the house. In my conscious efforts to make my old things new again, I will be making my maxi dress out of a fitted sheet. This is a sheet that never fit on my bed, so we just kind of kept it, and I thought it had a cute pattern on it, and I said this is what I'm going to make my dress from today. So you know, I don't have any just random fabric lying around the house, and I'm not going to go buy any, so why not, you know, use what I have? And so this is a waste not, want not channel, so you're going to see me, you know, make things out of things that I already have. With that being said, the first step in preparing your fabric or your sheet for a dress is to take the elastic out of the fitted sheets. You use a seam ripper that I have here, or you can use a small pair of scissors, a fingernail file, just anything that's sharp that's going to cut through the threads, and you simply, you know, rip the thread that is holding the elastic to the sheet. Do not throw the elastic away. That very same elastic will be used to hold the dress up in the finished product. So just give me a few seconds here. I'm going to go ahead and finish ripping the elastic off of the sheet, and I'll come back with step 2. Alright YouTube, step 2 of making the maxi dress is while you have the seam ripper working, of course your elastic has already been torn out, you want to take the seam ripper and rip the curved area of the sheet. You want to, you know, rip out the seam on the area of the sheet that is supposed to fit around the corner of the bed. So go ahead and rip the seams out of all 4 corners, and I'll come back with step 3. Okay YouTube, I'm back with step 3 of the maxi dress process. Step 3 is to take your trusty tape measure and measure for the length and the width of the dress. So for the length, you want to measure from your bust line to your feet. Now if you happen to need to do any hemming, I say add an extra inch to account for any hemline that you have to make. But if your fabric is already finished at the hem, then you don't have to worry about that extra inch measurement. Now for the width, you want to measure from the widest part of you, around the widest part of you. And I say that because if you account for the widest part of you, then the dress will fit everywhere else. So for me, the widest part of my body is actually around my hips. So what I'm going to do is account for that measurement, which I already know what that is, and I will not be sharing. Haha. But you account for that measurement, and I'm going to add 2 inches just to be on the safe side. So once you get those measurements, you will lie the fabric flat and mark the measurements with the tape measurer, and then cut the fabric to those measurements. So I'm going to demonstrate step 3, and then we'll come back with step 4. Okay YouTube, here's my fabric lying pretty flat. Now me measuring should be pretty easy since there are actually lines in the fabric, so I'm just going to measure across and down and mark with a pen. And give me just a second to do that. Alright YouTube, so I have my tape measurer, and as you can see, the edge on my sheet is kind of marked where the pattern starts and where they stopped, or I don't know, maybe vice versa. But anyway, this right here is actually where I'm going to be placing the elastic. So I'm just going to measure down from that point, measure the length that I need. And we're going to say 51 is my length. And you just follow the same process going across, and you just either mark it with, I don't know, whatever you want to mark it with, a pen, a marker, you know, just mark whatever, you know, your length is. And then you're going to do the same thing going across to get the width. So I'll come back after I get those two measurements. Alright, so I've measured the fabric, and now I'm going to take my scissors and cut what I measured. And then you're going to fold what you cut in half going horizontally. You're going to fold what you cut in half going horizontally. So the cuts are done. Now you fold your fabric in half inside out. Before you fold it, you may want to make sure that it does fit around you. And I marked the top of the garment so that I'll know that that's the top. So also I'll know where to put the elastic. So yeah, and also make sure that when you sew it, you sew inside out. And you're going to sew the seam that is open. You're going to sew the seam that is open, and that's going to become the the back of the dress. Alright YouTube, so the next step in the process, I just got done sewing up the open seam of the dress, which is going to be the back of the dress. Now we're going to take the elastic and measure it. And you just want to measure it around the top of your bust. And you can go ahead and stretch it. That way it'll make for a good fit for when it's sewn into the top of the dress. And again, this is the elastic that came off of the sheet rather. So just measure it, go ahead and stretch it out. This little booger's kind of giving me trouble. But yeah, so I can use this whole piece of elastic. I'm eyeing where I can stop it or cut it. So I'll go ahead and sew this into the top of the dress, and I'll be right back and show you what that looks like. Alright YouTube, here is the finished product. This is the maxi dress that I've made out of a sheet. All I did was put a belt around the waist that I already had. Rebbsew actually made a braided rope belt that she tied various different ways, and I'll put a link to her page from my video. But yeah, this is it. I mean, I think it turned out pretty well. It's, it fits, the measurements were good. Measuring is very important, especially if you're not working with some kind of stretching material. This was a cotton sheet, so there is no stretch. So there's no room for error. But yeah, I mean, it's cute. It's workable. And I might actually go back and make the braided rope belt at some other time. But today I'm just going to work with this for a little event that I'm going to tonight. So I'm excited about it. And that's it. You guys have a good day.